Once again, welcome to Bolton Street Beats. That's right. We would like to take the mundane and the boring, roll it up into a ball and make it something cool and groovy. Not sure what that means, but we're going to roll with it. I am doing fine if you are asking. I hope you are doing good also. And today, what we are going to do is discuss this new audio interface that I got. And it's pretty neat. This is a live sound card. And let me pull up some details for you real quick. Hopefully I can. Now these come from Amazon. We're going to go into a little detail about this today. Okay, so first thing we're going to get out of the way, I'm not going to keep it a big secret. These things are $25.99 right now on Amazon. And currently they have a coupon for an extra 5% off, which is pretty cool. Let me change up my voice here. There we go. That's a little better, I think. This thing does a lot. And not that it doesn't have some shortcomings, but for this price, it does a lot. It's a lot sturdier than a V8 sound card. And don't get me wrong, don't hate me, because I do like the V8 sound card. I think it works extremely well, especially if you're starting out with small podcasts. It works. It does the job it's designed to do, and with a little tweaking, you can make it sound pretty good. This one, however, has more bells and whistles. It is a bit more heavy, and it has a lot more effects. A lot more effects. And the effects are just better. Now, although the packaging, this is called a ALPOWL, ALPOWL, audio interface live sound card. And if you're hearing a little bit of interference in the back of this, it's not the fault of the sound card, just so you know. I was getting this with the V8. I get this also with this Mivsen interface that I have here. That's because of the current that this is running on into the wall right now. There's a lot of things plugged in, and really this should have a dedicated current to cut down on that. So I apologize for that. That's my fault with office wiring, so don't hold that against the audio interface. But what you can do is judge the sound, and a lot of that is because I'm getting an old school sound right now, kind of like old school radio. And that's because of this Mivsen bottle type condenser microphone that I really, really like. And I'm a very analog person, and I really like the old analog sound. And I like to do things very cheap and inexpensive, and I want to pass that on to you, especially for you who are just starting. Now, of course, as your channel grows, a lot of you want to upgrade and go to more expensive things, and I totally understand it, and I totally get it, and they'll probably last you a lot longer than this stuff will. But that's what I'm here for, is to test this stuff, to see how long it's going to last. We'll keep using it. We'll use the hell out of it. We'll move it around in the studio. We'll do all kinds of crazy stuff with it, see what it's capable of, and just how long it will last. So I will be your guinea pig, if you will. So back to this sound card. Or audio interface, whatever you want to call it. Get rid of some things here. I have a very finicky Chromebook that won't make up its mind what it wants to do. So this is an M9 audio interface. And I'm not sure if you can see this, but I'm going to hold it up for you. It lights up. It does a lot. It has the sliders for your mic, your backing track, and your monitor. Your main things right at your fingertips. It also has a mute button, so I can mute anything that I want to so you can't hear it. It has a one button, that's what we're on right now. It's called the one button. And then it has a like a noise reduction button also. It does quite a bit. It has some of the best voice changing that I've seen in a sound card. And the voice changing on this one sounds more like Darth Vader than anything.
Bring the Wookiee to me.
Very cool. Very cool. You can change it to a woman's voice.
So right now, I am a... No, I'm not. We'll go back.
So yeah, we got a babies. This sounds more like something from the old band years ago, Nucleus. They did a song called Jam on it. And when you turn it on the baby talk, that's kind of what it sounds like a hyped up Elvin and the Chipmunks. But let's do it. So that's interesting. There's all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of different effects. You got to find the one that suits you the best. And I'm still experimenting. So if this is not the best sound, I assure you this is capable of it. So we have a lot of different adjustments you can make. You can adjust your treble, you can adjust your mids, and you can adjust your bass. And that's on these knobs up top. And then we have different samples of voices that we can use to mellow your voice out. If you speak high, we can lower it. We can do a lot of different things. So I'm very excited about this sound card because it gives me the ability to run some intros also. And you can record an intro and play it back, fast forward it, rewind it, whatever you need to do. I got to figure out how to do that. I still don't know. Because one thing that is bad about this, and not the unit, is the directions. Whatever I did with those. Anyhow, they're on a little pamphlet that is very hard to see. I had to put my camera on macro lens to see it. That's crazy. So I plan on taking some pictures of it and printing it out so I can read it comfortably and not have to be all stressed out about reading what the sound card is capable of. So, ALPOWL M9, if you're listening, please make your owner's manual bigger. Because although I don't have perfect eyesight, I do wear glasses for reading, as you can tell. Normally I don't wear glasses, but for reading and up close things, I do wear glasses. I assure you my wife has perfect eyesight. And she couldn't make it out either. It was ridiculous. So that's my big gripe. Cables, however, you get an A+ because the cables that come with this are nice and they are 3.5 millimeter with exception of a couple USBs that you can run. But it's nice because these run right to your Android or iOS device and are capable of turning your iOS or Android device into a recording device. For right now, I am recording with a Samsung 4K phone, which is kind of ironic because you're not going to get 4K quality, which sucks because my video app down converts my 4K, even though it's not supposed to. When I bought it, it says 4K video compatible. Well, apparently it's not compatible with my new Samsung device, and it down converts it to 1080, which really does not look like 1080 when I watch it. It actually looks like 720, and then who knows what YouTube does with it. So that's too bad, but that's a subject for a different day. And yes, I do like using Android. The Filmmaker Pro that I run, I love the ease of use, and it's user-friendly. And it does everything I need it to do with the exception of two things. One is down converting to 1080, which I do not like. But man, my original videos on this phone are breathtaking. If I could just find a way of transferring them over, and Filmmaker would step up their game. And two, with my new Samsung, apparently Filmmaker Pro will not make it picture-in-picture. So I can't put other pictures up here or here, which is terrible. Or another video. I can't do that. And apparently with other devices they can. Maybe it's just too new of a device, or maybe they need permissions, but I don't know. But it doesn't work. Anyhow, I digress. Let's get back to this audio interface, the review. Fantastic interface. Very pleased, very, very happy. And for $25.99 and another $4 off, you have this thing. This is crazy because you're getting a lot. While they may not be the big heavy metal body, it is a plastic body, but it looks good. And it's not light. It's not like my V8 sound card, which is very light. So light, in fact, I had to mount it to this ugly board to keep it weighted down so it didn't slide around my work surface, which I still like the V8 sound card. I can't say I don't like it because it works really, really well, and it does sound good. However, I like this one better because it has more adjustments. And in my opinion, because of the more adjustments and features, it does sound better. It is better. Now, the V8 sound card came with the B800 kit, microphone kit with the boom arm. And a lot of people like a BM800. A lot of people hate the BM800. I don't know why they hate this microphone. I don't know why they hate. I don't know why they hate this BM800. Now, listen to the tone of this BM800. Beautiful, right? Quite different from the baby bottle Mivsen. They're two different things for sure. But this microphone right here sounds beautiful. I don't know why people hate it. They put it down. Maybe it's because it's so cheap. I paid $38 for the sound card and the mic and the cables and everything. And once again, runs right to your Android or iOS device for recording. Very, very nice. Both of these units, by the way, both of these sound cards. And by the way, this is running through the same sound card. Okay, this new one, the M9, I guess they call it. This is running through it all. So you can tell the difference in tones between microphones, and that is subjective. Just so you know, this is more of a modern radio tone, where when we go over to the Mivsen, now the Mivsen's a bit brighter, more clear, more crisp, and more old-fashioned analog sounding. So it just varies on what your flavor is. Not that one's better than the other, although I can tell you that the Mivsen build quality is far superior than the BM800. I'm not going to knock the BM800. And anybody who does hasn't given it a chance or any parameters with it, because it sounds great if you got a real one. And I'm sure some people label them BM800 and they put a bad or a shitty circuit board in them and you get bad sound. I assure you this one sounds great. I think it sounds great anyhow. You can run them together and we can get kind of a stereo effect if you like. So they do work. It's very nice. And we have another one that's arriving today. And I'm going to not tell you what that one is, but I will tell you. They have compared this microphone that's arriving today with a $12,000, I believe it's $12,500 microphone that was used for the recording of We Are the World. And it sounds just like it in a lot of instances, which is really crazy. So we're going to get that. We're going to compare the three, and we're going to say, hey, what makes a mic sound good? Is it the mic? Is it the mic? Is it the sound card? It's a combination of everything. But don't you think that all of these units so far, all of them, work just fine for podcasting? And like I said, if you hear any buzzing in the background, that is not the fault of the audio interface. That's my fault because I'm running them now on a dedicated circuit, and I should be. Why do I keep going back to the Mivsen? Well, because I really like it. It's heavy. It looks good. It did come with better cables. It's a sturdier unit. And I like the more analog sound personally. I don't know how that translates out there to you, but like I said, that's subjective. But the soundboard itself is fantastic. So what do you get with the sound card? Well, you get the cables that you need. You get your charging cable. And by the way, it is a battery unit. It has an internal battery. I forget the milliamps on it. I'll leave everything in the description for you and all the features. And it simply plugs into your computer or USB port anywhere you have to charge the unit. It was capable of doing over a 4-hour podcast unplugged. Now, plugged in, they recommend you don't use it plugged in, but you can. You may get unwanted noise, but hell, I'm getting unwanted noise now because of my circuitry. It doesn't change much when I plug it in. So I think that you'd probably be safe to do that. If you needed to, run it. It's a rather large unit compared to the V8 sound card. V8 sound card is a mere 5 inches wide versus 9.5, almost 10 inches wide. We can say that in length. We'll say length from across the front. The V8 sound card is a shade over, not even quite 4.25 inches in depth, going back, versus almost 6 inches with the M9. And as far as height goes, I believe they're both about 1 inch tall. However, the circuitry and the components in this live sound card, the M9 by ALPOWL, makes it a lot more heavy and a lot more user friendly on the work surface. It's not moving around on us. And I was worried about that. Actually, you could even use some more grippy, round little sticky nubs on the bottom to even make it stick a little better. But it works fine. I just wish they made these things, other than the manual, so they made them at a bit of a triangle, a V, so they angled up at you so you could really see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up building a little platform for all of my sound cards, and I'm going to be able to run all these sound cards together through each other if I want to. And yes, that does work, by the way. So let me give you an example here. See this Mivson? This is an audio interface that came with this mic. I love it and I hate it. I love it because it sounds better than, well, even this sound card as far as warmth and depth goes. So it works really well with the BM800, and it works really well with the mic it come with too. Kind of perfect with the mic it came from because it makes it an in-between sounding where you're getting some detail and some bass. However, see these functions on the front? Can you read the labeling on them? Me either. Yeah. It's labeled, and even on the back, they're labeling colors. You don't use a fine white small labeling on a light background and expect to see it. And the same on the front. You can't read what they say. They blend in. So you're just guessing. And that makes for podcasts a little difficult unless you're just using it the way I'm going to use it. So what I'm going to do this with this later on is I'm going to run my sound through this sound card, and I'm going to run it out because, believe it or not, when I do this, you run it through this and then run it into this M9 or even the V8, whatever you want to do. And I guess technically you could run all three in unison if you like. You run them right into one if you have enough splitters and connections, but I don't even need a splitter and connection. I can simply use a headphone or earbud output to run to this into the V8 sound card, and this cleans up the sound of this sound card. But what I will recommend is get your settings where you're going to do something like that. With your first unit, the sound is running through. If you're running your mic into this unit first, get your sound exactly where you want it. Then do all of your adjustments on your secondary audio interface. And you can use all of the effects on your secondary audio interface and not worry about adjusting anything on this to figure the effects out. I know that might have sounded complicated, but it's really not that complicated. But that's why we're waiting on this one, because honestly, I'm going to give this this M9 sound card a good work through before we start adding stuff to it, but I have already done that, so I do know it works. So, apparently they offer this one. They offer the V8 sound card, which is good if you guys are on a tighter budget and you don't have a lot, or you're just starting out and you need a sound card that works and is easy and works good. They do have the V8 sound card that is available for $15.99. But before you go out and pay $15.99 for a V8 sound card, please know that you can get the BM800. You can get this BM800 with the boom stand and all of the cables in a nice box. Comes like this. I'm sorry, I'm bumping all over. In a nice box. Shipped nicely for $38. Everything you need. Just so you know. And this Mivsen comes in an amazing package box. And I believe these go for right around $55 with the sound card. $55. Well worth it. I would have paid more than that now that I see what this is for the microphone alone. It is all metal. It has ginormous circuitry in it. This thing is a work of art to look at. There's not a blemish, not a flaw. And it really is, when you want to figure out the polarity of the mic, you really do know. I can turn the BM800 around and it sound changes a touch. This thing, you go to the other side, and that's why it's an old school kind of mic. You go to the other side and virtually it just muffles the hell out of it. The Mivsen comes in very nice packaging. Inside's like all felt. Everything has its own little compartment. So it's nice for storage even if you need to do it. Now, packaging for this M9, really no frills, just a box with some foam, some directions, and it comes in a bag. That's how it gets shipped to you, but that's all we need. The functionality is there. So I'm really, we all like packaging. However, it doesn't have it, but it works really good. I was really impressed, and I love how it lights up. I can sit here under dim lights at night and do a podcast or do a cool Fulton Street Beats video and see what I'm doing on the board in the dark. And I really like that. I really especially like that. Where the V8 sound card, I had to use this little clippy light to see the board. And then it was still pretty hard to see. Although, once again, I do like the V8 sound card. Another one they offer is the ALPOWL live sound card voice changer. And it's like a little, almost looks like a small little phone. Has some buttons on it. For those of you who are doing something portable or on the go, looks like it'd be a good route to go. Maybe we'll have to pick one of these up if ALPOWL will send me one, or maybe I'll just buy one. Again, this is another one that's $25.99, and this looks like a good option. And this one comes with the in-ear monitors, and it looks like a clip-on mic for portable on-the-go use. So I don't know how that goes, but it looks decent to check out. And then they have another one that is $19.99, and that's a V8S sound card. Has some sliders on it. It's kind of like the V8, but it's got some sliders on it. It looks like a few more features, but it seems like the V8 sound card for $15.99 would be the way I'd go, just because ease of use. Because what they did with the other one is they crammed all of those extra features into a really small package, and it's hard to work around. Actually, the M9 is definitely the one I would go with, looking as far as the ones go now. We'll keep testing audio interfaces in the future, inexpensive ones. I like the way the inexpensive ones work. I think they're very economical, and I think they suffice. Unless you're making thousands of dollars a month on YouTube, I would not suggest getting anything that's just my opinion, and, mine. You may have money, deep pockets, and want the best. And I don't blame you, because if I did, I would do the same thing. But I would still present you with inexpensive options, because that's the reality of where we want to be. So I hope you like that audio interface. I hope you think it's cool. And let me hold it up. Look at this. This is a good looking audio interface, right? And what's really weird is when you see it on the computer, it looks really cheap and gaudy, but when you take it out, it doesn't. It looks like a nice quality piece. And I wish I would pay extra if they made one of these with an aluminum body or a metal body. I would pay more. I would pay 3 times as much. That's how much I like what's going on in it. But just the fact of having a metal body would be cool. I would buy that. So make that happen. They will not hear this video. They will not care, but maybe they are, because they did send it to me for a review. So maybe they'll hear it. Do I have any down things? The things that I don't like about this audio interface? No. Other than the directions, and maybe put it in an angle, which the directions are definitely, I mean, that gets a thumbs down. Directions are bad. They're horrific, guys. Not that the directions themselves are bad, but reading it, man, wow. You need to have the eyes of a hawk. That's my big gripe. Everything else I can live with, and actually I think is pretty cool and pretty neat. So, let's go over some specifications a little bit. Now, it says it doesn't even weigh a pound. That is not true. I don't know where they come up with that. Definitely weighs more than a pound. Supposedly has a dual DPS reduction chip. Noise reduction chip. And it does have noise reduction, just so you know. I do have that on right now. Supports 2 channels. Actually, it supports 3 channels, because it supports 2 condenser mics and a let me make sure I'm right. I'm not getting that wrong, because I'm almost positive. Yes, and a dynamic microphone. So it supports 2 or 3. I'm sorry. USB interface, of course. Then we have our 3.5 jacks. Okay, has a 1200 milliamp battery. It's a built-in lithium titanium battery. So it says in the And I misspoke. This claims it can be used for 12 hours without recharging. And I fooled around with this thing for the last few days, and it's still on full charge, so I kind of believe that. Now, this say it comes with earphones. This did not come with earphones, so take these stuff with a grain of salt, unless I'm looking at the wrong one. I'm looking at the wrong one. Doesn't that figure? There we are. Well, let's see if that changes. "33 function buttons. 12-level electronic sound. Supports 2 people broadcast at the same time. Actually, 3 if you want to use a dynamic mic. Also, LED lights. Rotation button, smart DSP chip, 1-click noise reduction, hardcore brain. It does have that, and it's cool. That's what I'm using it on right now. So that's pretty cool. Compatible with 99% of the apps on the market, it says. And speech change, all that, of course. I'm going to list a full set of specifications for you in the details part of this video. And I know it just got really boring there, but sometimes it's like, I just look and I'm going, okay. Whatever. Some of it's broken English, of course. But I'll list the details and the specifications in the information in the details part. So check that out. Some crazy stuff going on here. Hold on. Sometimes we get things going and I don't backtrack. I do things right off the cuff is what I like to do. I like to do them off the cuff and just nothing scripted here at Fulton Street Beats. We just roll with it because it is what it is, because then it's just the truth. And that's what I want to bring you guys. I want to bring you the truth and how things really function. If we have a malfunction during a episode, that is what it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to bid you adieu. And I want to thank you for watching Fulton Street Beats. And I hope that you're kind enough to hit that like button, share, subscribe, and stick around, because we'll be doing some more reviews and more tests and see if these things really stand the test of time. And remember, be kind to each other, because it's rock and roll and love to make the world go around, baby. Talk to you soon, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.